Hey y'all, what's going on? What's going on? How you doing? How you doing? I'm a little tired, but I got a few minutes for y'all. I think all I have is a few minutes as well. But anyway, how y'all doing? I hope you guys are voting. I think the voting's closed. I don't know, but anyway, there's a lot going on in this world. I don't know where my chapstick is. I just bought some. Anyway, what's up? I feel a little bit distracted. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just distracted. There's a like all over the place kind of energy, right? So maybe some of you guys could be feeling like, foggy. Maybe even some confusion, right? Feeling like you're all over the place. You got too many oars going in the fire, you know what I mean? You got a lot of things going on. What's the message? Remember, the time is fluid, so whenever you see this message, it's when you're meant to see it. It's a general reading. It may not resonate with everyone, so please only take what resonates and leave the rest. We're trying to get some rest. It says never jam today. Okay. Promises that never come to be. Empty words, not living in the now. Okay, this is like making plans, you know what I mean? Or setting goals, but never really putting in the work to attain those goals, right? Always thinking about and wishing for change, but not really doing what's necessary for that change, right? 35 could be significant. and it's also about missing out on what's going on right now in your life, like not living in the now, always waiting for something else to make it better, like if you just had this, and if your life was just this way, and if you just had this kind of relationship, or this much money, or this, things, what I'm saying, but it's always a fantasy. It's never the reality, right? It's never, those goals are not being brought forth, and you're missing out on them right now. And maybe some of you have already gotten to a certain point, but you just keep, every time you meet a milestone in your life or a goal, it's like you're looking for something else. You don't even sit and enjoy it. Thank you, Spirit. Such a curious dream. So some of you guys could be having dreams. All right. Grounding, returning to reality, coming home. So, yeah, this is like grounding yourself, coming back down to earth. Definitely missing out on the opportunity that's in front of you. Definitely, I'm picking up on that energy. And such a curious dream. Like, yeah, it's like somebody's in La La Land, right? Somebody's in La La Land. Somebody wants the princess or prince life, but they don't want to, because they weren't born into it, right? But which we all are, really. But what happened to the music? It closed on me. You have to put in the work. It's like they want the results without putting in the work equity, the sweat equity, right? There's more to this never jam today, because this is talking also about promises that never come to be, right? This could be other people in your life never, keeping their word, keeping their promises, right? You keep paying into the BS. You keep hoping that this time it'll be different, and it's not, right? Maybe you keep thinking that something is going to turn out one way, and it's not. All must have prizes. Wow. You give, you give, you give. You celebrate other people, but you're never celebrated. You're always having to sacrifice something of you, some part of you, some possession of yours, some resource. It's like that's all it's about. It's just about people making themselves look good at your expense. Yeah, Spirit saying you're going to have to become braver and speak up for yourself. Speak up for what you want, how you feel. If this is something that, see, here's it. Look, follow the white rabbit. Ooh. This energy that I'm seeing right here with this such a curious dream and almost have, this is giving me the energy of feeding somebody else's dreams, but in hopes that at some point, it'll be your dream as well. That they'll give that back to you, and they'll fulfill your dreams and your hopes and wishes about the relationship, right? And I feel like you're not speaking up for yourself. You're not speaking your truth. You're not being honest about how you feel about the situation. You could feel like somebody's always making promises to do something, but you're the one that's always doing the fucking work. Right? They initiate things, but they don't follow through. They don't follow through. They don't keep the promise, you know what I mean? Or they make promises that they can't keep. And you may always be the one to have to cover for someone. You understand? Becoming braver, resilience, experience, growing stronger, fresh perspective. And follow the white rabbits on the bottom of the deck. Curiosity meets opportunity. So there could be an opportunity that could be coming up for you to do something different. Oh, aren't we in Mercury retrograde? Are we in Mercury retrograde? Yes.
We are currently in a Mercury retrograde, which runs from June 29th to July 23rd, 2020.
July 23rd. It started June 29th. So Mercury is communications. Mercury is thoughts. I see it as an opportunity to, it's like a overview, a review. Thank you, Spirit. A review. There could be something that is coming around again, and something that is a repeat of something that you've already done. This is almost like a test. This is also an opportunity to do it in a different way. Okay? Now, it doesn't have to be the same characters or the same job or the same situation, but the lesson about it is about you standing up for yourself. It's about you speaking up for yourself. It's about you recognizing the pattern, right? Because this is somebody that you're trying to please, you know what I'm saying, in hopes of an outcome that you always imagine, but it's not. This is somebody that overpromises and under delivers, okay? And you've always had to rescue this person. You've always had to help this person. This is like somebody getting in debt and they can't pay the money, and here you come, you give them the money. That kind of energy. Alright, because they made some promises they couldn't keep. They could have lost a bet. You know what I mean? They overpromise and underdeliver. That's what I keep hearing. Okay. We got 35, 45, 13, and 5 out here with 3. Alright. What we got here? To be fair. Oh, this is giving me justice energy. Balance. Right? This is a way for you and the universe will give you the opportunity to balance some things out. Because if you're an overgiver, if you're always bailing people out, if you're always running to people's rescue, if you're always supporting others, right? you're not allowing them first and foremost to learn their own lessons, right? You're keeping someone, that's enabling someone, you know what I mean? And I feel like you're going to have to stand up for yourself, but the universe is going to balance some things out for you, to be fair, because you've been there. You've given, you've been the people pleaser, you've been the overgiver. Building blocks, lessons, I can't make it up. It's like you can't. Oh shoot! Hold on, y'all. Hey, I don't know why I just didn't do it the first time when I mentioned it, right? Building blocks are learning, are life's lessons, right? You could have had a really hard upbringing. You could have had to learn a lot of hard lessons, right? You could have had to learn things the hard way, you know? Baking soda from Childless. And let me tell you, had a grease fire in my house today. A grease fire. All that was going through my mind is like, the grease, what do you do with grease? You cover it. You can't, you do not add water. You know what I'm saying? I had to remember what I learned, you know what I mean? Put the top on it, but it was so, I've never experienced anything like that. Ever. So, like, that really freaked me out. But going through hard lessons, right? Like having a difficult childhood, a difficult upbringing, right? Maybe you didn't have the fairest of chances in life. You had to work extra hard, or some things you just didn't get. It didn't come easy, you know. You barely, you know. And then there's a lot of you guys that are overachievers, and I'm going to tell you why I say overachievers, because you're always the one people pleaser. So in order to people please, you have to, it's like you I heard overstimulated, but you overachieve in order for you to be able to be there for others. But sometimes that spirit, I heard it, people resent you for that. Wow. People could resent you for the work that you put in, for how you overcome so many obstacles, how you're always so helpful. You know so much, and you're able to, multitask. You wear many hats. Somebody could resent you for that, for always coming to their rescue. Be honest, that's what I heard, right? Because somebody may resent you for that, for being able to overcome things, for always being able to just being the one to, that resentment is coming from shame. That's the energy I'm picking up. Somebody was really ashamed of themselves, and they really, somebody had a bad judge character about you. Somebody expected you to be the one that's in this position that they're in, that having to ask you for help. Imagine. This is the moon energy for me. Somebody is resentful. Yeah, so there's resentment. Yeah. I heard it, I felt it, I see it. Even though you support this person, and it's like it's like she got tears in her eyes, right? It's like you could really, really care about a person, but you know that somebody could actually have a menacing face like that, right? Always mean, right? And you're always giving, and that, but you always thought that maybe, you really try to please somebody. You really worked hard at trying to get someone to see you for who you are, but they weren't able to see. They know who you are, they see who you are, and they resent you for it. Why do they resent the collective spirit? Coming to the edge because your courageousness, but it's not just your courage, it's your, yeah, I think it is your courage. Somebody, I heard that, ooh, and I could feel, but you really had a hard knock life, I heard. All right, you really have, but you've always had this in the back of your mind. You've always wanted something. You've always fantasized about something being a certain way. So you overgave, you gave in hopes that it would come to fruition, right? But that's not what it is. You just became a doormat. You just became somebody very predictable. Like they know what you're gonna do. They know how you're going to behave. What was this? Observer. It's like they know how to get to you, right? They know how to manipulate you, how to use you. I really feel like somebody resents, somebody overpromised and they underdelivered, and you had to bail them out. And they resent you for that because they resent you for that. And all you really wanted was, I don't know what you wanted. You got tears in your eyes. When you look at this person, you could feel really sad. You could feel a lot of sadness. And I think that sadness is empathy, maybe, you know what I mean? Like you feel sorry for this person. But you also realize that this person is a manipulator. This person is resentful. They're envious. They're jealous. And they despise you. That's what I'm hearing. Observe it. That's what I'm hearing. No place like home. Oh, what's that behind that? Chaos and conflict. What'd I tell you? Yeah, this is somebody that resents you. They want to cause chaos in your life. Conflict in your life. Somebody feels like you should be in their position. That's basically what I'm saying. Like, because they overpromise, they brag, they talk, they claim they could do something, they was gonna do something, they did something, and when it came down to somebody needed help, somebody don't have it, they ain't got it. Somebody ain't got it, and here you are bailing them out so that they don't look bad, so that they don't get beat up, or so that they don't, it's like you're preventing somebody from facing their own consequences of their actions. You're saving somebody from, Spirit said, hitting their bottom. They're never gonna see you. Listen, they see you, that's why they resent you, but they're never going to acknowledge you. They're never going to acknowledge you. They're never going to love you on an equal basis. It's never going to be that way, because they don't even feel like you should be where you are anyway. They feel like it should be them. That's what they went around showing and saying and telling everybody, that they had this and they had that. Look at that, the Empress in the reverse. That they had this and had that, right? And in secret, you've had to bail this person out a few times. The Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, the Empress in the reverse. This could be a mother, okay? Because the Empress is a mother. But in the reverse, this is somebody who Spirit said they never loved you. You've never had a good relationship. Listen, see what I'm saying? Then I'd say you had a traumatic traumatic childhood, growing up. You had a hard time, right? You didn't have it like others. You had to do extra shit. You had to do extra shit for this person's attention, for their acknowledgement, for them to acknowledge you. This is somebody that never. To be fair, something's going to be balanced out, because this was an unfair relationship. This person, made things a lot harder for you, and you always in the back of your mind wanted that relationship, like you know what I'm saying, like a lot of people. Not everybody has them. You know what I mean? You are very brave, right? And because you tried to get this person's attention so much, you overachieved so much, you bailed this person out, you helped, but they never acknowledge you. They would never tell people that you're the one that helped them. This is the type of shit I'm talking about. They would never acknowledge and give you that. They've been like that all your life. We got the Page of Cups in the reverse. I'm telling you. They were not a teacher. They didn't try to guide you with the Page of Cups in the reverse. This is a toxic relationship. Look at that. Look at all them wands. That's the Ten of Wands in the reverse. This is carrying burdens, carrying generational curses and behaviors and mindsets. You know what I mean? Never. Spirit said never. They never turned their cup up right to you. They was never open to receive your emotional, but their cup was always upside down with you. Whenever they came towards you, it was always in a condescending way. Alright, take it how it resonates. The Devil in the reverse. Got to be more careful. The Knight of Cups. And then you kept giving and giving and giving. Right? The Devil in the reverse. I'm telling you, this person, the Devil in reverse, the Page of Cups, and the Empress in reverse. There's this dynamic that you have with this person, that you've always had with this person. No matter what it might look like to people on the outside, right? Because I feel like there was a lot of that fake love shit, right? Somebody wanted to uphold an image, right? But behind the scenes, they were very nasty and manipulative. All I could keep hearing, Spirit keeps saying they resented you. They resented you for whatever. No matter how bad they treated you, you still remain loyal. That's why they resented you, and you didn't break, right? And you still grew it. You know what I'm saying? And you still kept your shit together. And and now, child, you gotta help this person. You hear me? They resent that shit, but they're greedy like that. Well, we got the Hangman in the reverse. There's something else. What's this? Justice. Now you see what's been holding you here. Now you see, but here comes the bravery. Come to the edge. What do you think might happen if you speak your truth? Right? If you spoke how you really felt. If you just listen. Set boundaries, right? If you start setting boundaries and you pull back on that unconditional giving, right? That people pleasing energy. You're aware that somebody thought you was stuck on stupid, but see, here's that part where I said, I see your empathy. I see how you feel empathetic, because I feel like every time you help this person, you do it with so much sorrow, because you know that's all they want. You feeling me? You know that they don't really fuck with you, but they need you. Excuse me. You know that's what they want, and that's hurtful, right? That's painful. You're starting to see it now. Ooh, look, the Knight of Swords. You're starting to see that with the Hangman in the reverse. And Justice. Yeah, it's time for you to stand up for yourself, alright? And that's not saying to be mean to anybody or to, you know what I'm saying, to try to do anything to hurt anyone, but it's definitely time for you. What is this? This is the Nine of Cups in the reverse. And then we got the Ten of Swords. Nine of Cups in the reverse. Justice, Ten of Swords. There's a lot of betrayal, a lot of I feel like whatever you may have been through, it made it hard for you to really pour into yourself. This also gives me the energy of you over several times, or you know what I'm saying, you stepped out on faith and you didn't get back what you. It's like something you've done over and over and over again, and you got the same result. You was expecting different results, right? And here it go with the people pleasing. It's as if the more loyal you were to this toxic energy, this toxic way, this toxic cycle, this toxic back and forth, how y'all move. You know what I mean? This cycle, this ride y'all was on. It's like the more you gave up on yourself, right? The more, every time you reached out, every time you tried, you helped this person or supported this person, had this person's back, or whatever the case may be, it was a slap in the face. It was a slap in the face. And what we got here, the Six of Cups in the reverse. So what are you learning from this? What lesson are you learning, collective? Ooh. You got the Eight of Swords in the reverse. You ain't stuck no more with that Six of Cups in the reverse. You're no longer keeping yourself stuck or tied or attached to anything. The Knight of Swords. Yeah, this is giving me the energy of going within, seeing the truth. Not just the truth in the situation, but the truth in yourself. Right? Coming in from being, naive to like maturing. Smart. Your knowledge, your wisdom. You were trapped. You were trapped in your mind in this situation. Or somebody thought they were trapped with that. Well, yeah, in a way, because there's a reason you kept giving. That's because you kept thinking that at the other end of all this bullshit, or maybe you even felt like, that was somebody's love language. Maybe you thought, listen now, that could be a part of your trauma, thinking that toxicity and karmic and this toxic ass energy, this, non-loving, low vibrational energy, that could, a lot of us grew up thinking, and that's love. You know what I mean? That's how we express love. That's how it's expressed. Somebody could have had you feeling like that, You know how back in the day how it was? When we used to get whoopings with switches and belts and stuff like that, we thought that was love, right? But that's really a slave mentality, to be beat and whipped if you don't act right. You understand what I'm saying? You hear me? Do you hear me? Two of Cups in the reverse. The devil. King of Wands. Yeah. On the bottom. Somebody very mature. Somebody that's bright. That's energetic and a go-getter. A self-starter. Right? You have a lot of great ideas. And I feel like there's a lot of things, a lot of goals that you have met. Standing up for yourself, courage, strength in the King of Wands, witty, very quick-witted, I'm hearing. Temperance, balance, emotionally balanced, the Hermit. I told you, yeah, you've been going within. You've been doing a lot of shadow work, right? A lot of reflecting, a lot of telling the truth to yourself about the situation, right? Asking yourself, why do you keep sacrificing yourself for someone else, right? Because it's the right thing to do, right? You got a good heart. Yeah, that may be so. But when does it become us hiding, behind our trauma, behind the abuse, right? And what's this? The Eight of Wands in the reverse with the King of Pentacles. And hiding behind the trauma because we're too afraid to let go. Because that's all we know. All we know is this kind of dynamic, right? What if we do something different? You know what I'm saying? It may not turn out the way we hoped. You know what I mean? We don't even know because, yeah. But I feel like you're willing to take that chance at this point, right? Now it's time to step out on faith. Now it's time to step out on faith, right? And allow God to do what He got to do. Sometimes we got to get out of people's way of their karma. You hear me? We got the Eight of Cups here. What I said, yes, moving away. That's it, walking away. You've done all you could, right? Every time you extended yourself, you got the same emptiness. The same rejection, 32 on the clock, right? That same Knight of Wands, right? Listen. The Nine of Wands. Conflict, yeah. Standing up for yourself. You've overcome a lot. You've dealt with a lot and you've overcome a lot. Sometimes we think we can love people, enough to, I don't know, because I don't think people can really be who you are, you know what I mean? You can't really get people to be and understand who you are. You have to just be okay with knowing who you are, you know what I mean? You have to just be okay with knowing who you are and trusting your own authenticity, right? If you move in love and righteousness and the good intentions, anything you do is all gravy, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not out to harm anybody. And I feel like somebody has been so aggressive towards you and they recognize that you're not even out to harm anybody and that even though they have done these things, you're still there. You still will be there to help them, pull them up, you know what I mean? In some way, shape, or form. And that's where the resentment comes from because you ain't mad. You know what I'm saying? You ain't cussing them out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like a blessing and a curse. You feeling me? Oh, Queen of Cups, man. Listen, it's like a blessing and a curse. I can't make it up. The Death card in the reverse. Look at this. The Ace of Swords. Yes, sir. That's the truth. Knight of Cups in the reverse. A long time. Three of Wands. Moving forward, right? Moving in a new direction. The Queen of Pentacles. Listen. Yes. Know what I'm talking about? The Death in the reverse, the truth. It's as if somebody didn't want you to be who you are. You know what I mean? Somebody, I want to say they thought about, they saw you in a wrong way, or they just saw you in a way that they can manipulate, right? It's really like a love-hate kind of thing. I love what you can do for me when I need you, but when I don't need you, I don't like you. You know what I mean? And I've done things and I've been mean to you, and you still, here you go. You know what I mean? And I can dig that, you know what I'm saying? But when we talk to God about situations like this, we always know, he says, how many times do I turn my cheek, Father? He says 7 times, 70 times 7. You know what I mean? But sometimes we could think that's our job, to be that person, to be that savior. We're not the savior. Jesus is the savior. Right? And sometimes when we really care about people, we don't want to see them get the karma that they deserve. Or not by my judgment, you know what I mean? But sometimes we get in the way. Right? We delay. We prolong. And you know what happens when we don't move when we're supposed to, when we prolong situations, when we don't get out the way? We become in the conflict and confusion. We become burdened, right? And until we let go, we're going to continue to be burdened. Anyway, let me get y'all a... listen. Yes, we have assignments. Yes, we have a purpose. Yes, we have a journey that God sets us on, and he puts in our heart to give and do and stuff like that. But it's important that we don't boast, that we don't think we're more than we are. You know what I mean? And learn when to yield. Thank you, Spirit. Learn when to yield. That's it right there. Learn when to yield. That's all. Especially when you've done all you can do. You got the 8 of Cups out here. Somebody's always been an illusionist. That's what I'm hearing. An illusionist in your life. Well, we got not giving a fuck is better than revenge. Wow. Revenge sucks. Just watch a superhero movie and look at the villains. Those guys suck. Revenge is whack and petty and gives you wrinkles. You know what's hot? Being the bigger person and letting shit go. Hair flip that shit. Honey, and move the fuck on. Alright, y'all. Y'all stay up. Deuces.